Hey guys, it's Brad the Buff. I got my buff in my head and I'm ready to go. I wanted to show you guys the ultralight setup that I've finally put together over the years. An ultralight setup is a setup that's below 10 pounds for hiking, and I'm going to break down exactly what is in my setup in this video. Most of the items in this video I've done unboxings for or gear review, but I wanted to put them all together because it's kind of been trying to get my ultralight setup together has been pieces of a puzzle. I've slowly been acquiring things to get to this point in my backpacking journey. So let's start off with my backpack. This is the thermarest Nero. I did remove the cushion that comes in the back of it and replaced it with the Gossamer Gear thinlite pad. The Nero is about 11 ounces. So that's with my two. I have a little pocket here for snacks, and I have a holder for a water bottle. When you add in my Gossamer Gear thinlite, this is about a 2 to 3 ounce pad. It brings me up to about 13 ounces on my entire setup for my backpack. This also functions as my butt seat, and it goes underneath of my sleeping pad to give me a little bit better R rating and also just to give it some protection. But typically I'm just going to pull it out if we stop to take a break, and I'm going to use it just like this where I sit on it. My shelter is this big Agnes onyx carbon shelter. It just sets up. I have a review on it. I've got about 10 ounces into the stakes. I carry 2 poles with it, and the Cuban fiber shelter top itself. So this is about 10 ounces. I'm going to carry 2 of these smart water bottles for my clean water. I like having them. I tend to drink a lot more water just by having the water already filtered. These are each about an ounce to an ounce and a half. So I got 3 ounces there. I also carry a Bowl-cnoc 3-liter bag. This is about 3 ounces. This is how I do filter my water. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my sawyer squeeze, which I keep in this pocket, and it screws in. Like so. And this is how I filter my water. I can gravity feed it, or I can roll this down. I've got about 3 ounces into the sawyer squeeze, and this bag itself is also 3 ounces. It's also my main water carry. If I get into a tough spot, I can carry up to 5 liters. My bowl is, I just got this and I've used it one trip, is this Bowl-cnoc buck bag. The reason I got this as my primary bowl, I'm going to take the top off. It is a little bit tight every time. Oh shoot, I'm sliding it the wrong way. That'll do it. But the reason I got this to use as a bowl is I can put cold items in here and eat out of it, but I can also put my ramen in here and let it soak, and it'll work as a bag just to soften it up. But also I can cold soak in this if I need to. This is a 2 ounce bag, and which cold soaking is just when you leave your food in here for long periods of time. You don't plan on keeping a stove, or if you run out of fuel. So I could put my oatmeal in here the night before, put a few ounces of water, it'll be ready to eat in the morning. And then the other thing is, this is, if I needed to carry an excessive amount of water, I could get about an extra liter inside of this. So I do like having it for that feature, but this also functions as my bowl. I put my oatmeal here, I eat out of it. I'm sure I'll do a review on this eventually. Here's my extra water bottle. I do like to carry 2. I'm usually going to store all my snacks and food on the back, but I'm not counting those right now. Your base weight is everything minus your water, your fuel, and your food. So things that you may have to resupply on. This is my rain gear. This is the Outdoor Research Helium. This is about 8 ounces. I'm going to carry that on just about any trip. I usually carry 1 pair of extra socks and 1 pair of underwear that I change into at night. I always carry my voormi River Run hoodie. This is about 9 ounces. This is what I use for sun protection, and then to clean out of my shirt, whatever I was hiking in during the day. I'll put this in on at night so I'm not wearing whatever I was hiking in during the day. It's a little bit warmer. It's got this big hood on it for, like I said, sun protection. This is what they call your ditty bag. This kind of has all my extras in it. I carry my flashlight, which is about 2 ounces. I have a little medical kit. It's got tape. It's got my aspirin. It's got some safety pins, Band-Aids, alcohol strips. I have a coagulant and some sturry strips in case you get a big cut. And then some seam repair for my tent. So this is a 2-ounce bag. Also, I carry just some extra rope. This is made out of Cuban fiber, really light. I've got maybe a 1/4 ounce between both of these. One I can use for a bear bag if I need to. My cords and my backup battery. This is a 10,000, I think they're measured in milliamps. So this is my 10,000, it's 6 ounce. This is an Anchor power core. And then a couple cords. I have an O'Pennell small knife that I use. My toilet paper, toothbrush, and charger block. And I also carry some floss in case something gets stuck in your teeth, or I can use this as thread to sew with, which I carry a needle in there. My main thing to make hot water on, as well as to drink from, is going to be, this is typically my Snow Peak titanium coffee press, but I took the press part out because that adds about 2 ounces. This is about a 4-ounce piece. Very lightweight for how much water you can boil in. It does a little bit over ½ a liter. So that's going to be my main thing to make hot water with and to also drink out of. This is my alcohol fuel stove system. It's got a wind cover on it. It's got a stand for my stove. And then I use the Toaks titanium. This thing literally weighs about ½ an ounce, but it's an alcohol siphon stove. I really like it. It is pretty cool. And then I use this Vargo to carry my fuel. Just this Vargo, it carries 8 ounces at a time. And I'll get into the alcohol stove. I've got, without the actual fuel itself, I've got about 3 ounces into this setup, including the lighter. So it's 3 ounces for the stove itself, the stand, the wind blind, and the fuel carry itself. Let's see. Last couple items. This is my Enlightened Equipment quilt. This is a 40-degree quilt. I got an extra long and extra wide to fit for me. This is 19 ounces. This thing has been awesome so far. I've got as low as 25 degrees in mine with a good pad. So this thing has been amazing, but it is 19 ounces. I have the Neo Uberlite. This is a 9-ounce sleeping pad. This is the regular size. It's 20 inches wide. I probably wish I'd have got the extra wide, but it is nice because the extra wide I believe is 12 ounces. So I do have the lightest version of this. And then I do bring a Trekology pillow. This is 3 ounces. And you know, I just like the extra comfort. It straps underneath of my pad, and it does make a big difference for me for sleeping, so I do like it. It is an item if I wanted to I could get rid of. And then underneath of it, this is just a polycro ground sheet. It's about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces. And this is what I'm gonna put underneath my sleeping pad to make sure that it's not directly on the ground and that it's a little bit protected, as well as putting my Gossamer Gear thinlite. So with this entire set of gear here, including the backpack, I'm at about 6.5 pounds. So I'm doing pretty good with this current setup. I have taken out on a spin on the last gear. I had a little bit more cold weather gear in that, but I feel really good about being at 6.5 pounds. To get to super ultralight, you're supposed to be below 5 pounds, but I don't know if I'm interested in trying to lose that extra 1.5 pounds. I know I could get rid of like my pillow if I wanted to. I could strip out all of the, I could strip out like all of the covers and a few other things. That might get me down there. But at 6.5 pounds, I'm very happy with this setup. Some things that I may switch out if it gets a little bit cold. If I bring my jacket with me, that's going to add about 9 ounces. And I did a review on this not that long ago, but this is the Ghost Whisperer 2. It's a great jacket, and really this is the only addition I needed to make this go to my warm weather gear. Once again, it's going to add about a ½ pound or so. This is my thermarest X-Lite pad. This is about 10 ounces more, or 9 ounces more, I believe, than my my thermarest Uberlite. So this is about 9 ounces more than that, but this is an extra long and extra wide, very comfortable, and I can get down to about 25-30 degrees in this. Great pad. If it gets a little bit colder, I will be bringing this. So that between those two, that's what I'm really going to add just to get into cold weather. It's going to add a pound on me. So I go from 6.5 to 7.5. The other thing that I can switch out is I do love my MSR reactor. What I would do if I switch over this is I would get rid of this cup. This is a 4-ounce cup. The actual pot for this is about 7 ounces. So I would only increase a total of 3 ounces for the pot, but the burner that is inside here weighs an additional 5 ounces or so. So I would pick up this 5 ounces, plus I would pick the weight of this canister. For the canister is 13 ounces. So I would go up an additional 5 ounces in weight for fuel. But what I will say is where I make up some of the weight is with one of these canisters, I can get about 20 boils on 1 liter. With 8 ounces of fuel for my alcohol stove, I'm only going to get about 8 boils. Maybe I can get to 12 warm waters if I use it exactly right, but this is a pretty safe 20 boils. So if you think about it that way, I'm carrying 13 ounces, but I'm getting almost twice the fuel efficiency that I'm getting from the fuel I carry. Now, these are harder to find and harder to replace if you're out on a longer hike, but one of these 13-ounce canisters, if it's just me hiking, is going to last me almost a week. So if I know I can get to a spot where I can replace this in a week, I'm only picking up, once I lose the cup, I'm only picking up, reality, about 6 extra ounces. And to me, for the convenience of using this thing, it's totally worth it. So the reality is if I take this out, I probably will be taking this with me just because I enjoy it so much. It is so quick and convenient, and it does make my trips a lot better. But if I want to get a little bit lighter, I can take my alcohol stove. So if you add in, if you replace out my alcohol stove and gear, and as well as my cup here, I'm going to end up about 6 ounces more, which is going to take me from 6.5 pounds to about 7 pounds by adding this in. So that's kind of my ultralight gear setup. Super happy with what I have here. If it's winter time, I've only got to add about a pound. I'm not talking about extreme like 10 degrees. It's going to add a lot more. But if it's around 30 degrees, I pick up about an extra pound, taking me from 7 to 8 pounds. And I'm always looking for ways to get lighter. But with where I'm at currently in my setup, I'm extremely happy to be able to do summer hiking at about 7 pounds of base gear. I'm well in that ultralight range, and it makes such a big difference. I would not have believed how much of a difference it makes. By the time I carry 2 liters of water, that's going to add about 4.5 pounds. It's going to take me from 7 to about 11.5 pounds. And then I'm typically, for a long weekend trip, going to carry about 5 to 6 pounds of food. So I'm going to start off hitting the trail somewhere between 16 and 18 pounds. That is a very, very comfortable weight for me. The biggest difference it makes is when you're climbing up large inclines. It is a massive difference every 5 pounds you drop. A 30-pound bag going up a hill really wears you out. A 20-pound bag going up a hill is not the same experience at all. And so I do like to stretch out the miles. I do like the longer hike days. And so for me, it is important to get down to the ultralight weight. That being said, you know, if you don't do as long a days, you don't have as many inclines, it isn't necessary. but I've been very happy trending this way for the last 5 years. I've just picked up one piece of gear at a time. This setup is very expensive, and I didn't do it all at once, but now that I'm here, I have been very happy. My hiking experience has changed because of that. Once again, I'm much more willing to do longer distances, which it's just a different experience. But I'm going to list out my gear, the weight, the prices that I paid for them. Some of the stuff I got on, Facebook exchanges. Some of them I bought brand new. So, once again, look around. You might be able to get a good deal. I hope this video has been helpful for you, showing you the different things that I have for my ultralight setup. And spring has sprung. We're getting ready to hit Easter. I am stoked to get back out. I've got a couple more trips planned coming up. I can't wait to get them on film, and I'm sure I'll be getting a video out next week, but I hope this one was helpful for you guys. I'll see you later. Hey guys, if you like the video you just saw, please subscribe, click the bell so you can get alerted for any new videos that I may do, and check the links below for any information I described in the video. I'll try to put as much there as possible. Thanks for watching.